I read over 100 creativity books, thousands of pages from the greatest creative minds in history. I wanted to figure out how we can finally finish our best ideas. And I think I found the answer. Now, if you care about your art, your music, or your craft, like really care, what I'm about to share could change everything for you. Because this isn't just another perfectionism is bad speech. This goes deeper. And here's what I discovered. Perfectionism isn't about having high standards. It's about having low courage. And so I'm going to break this down into 5 keys that change how I think about creativity forever. And if you really want to go deeper, in the description of this video, I'll leave a list of all my books that I've read on creativity and also a list of the best book notes that I have on perfectionism. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in. The first key is something that I found buried in the research that nobody talks about. And it's this. Perfectionists create the lowest quality work. And I know that sounds backwards, but let me prove it to you. This breakthrough happened when I came across a psychology experiment that appears in multiple creativity books. Picture this. A ceramics teacher divides his class into 2 groups. One graded on quantity and the other graded on quality. So one just had to make as many pots as possible, while the other just had to make one perfect pot. And at the end of the semester, guess which group had the highest quality work? It was the quantity group, by a landslide, because they were busy making pots, failing fast, learning from every mistake, trying again and again. They made hundreds of terrible pots and accidentally discovered how to make masterpieces. Meanwhile, Group B got stuck in their heads, planning and overthinking and avoiding mistakes. And since they were so afraid to make something bad, they never learned how to make something great. This reveals something profound. Quality emerges from quantity, not from the pursuit of perfection. Good art comes from making lots of art, not from trying to be perfect. Picasso made 147,000 pieces of art in his life. Most were bad, but some changed art forever. Casey Neistat made 900 daily vlog videos that made him a better storyteller. And Cause tagged hundreds of spots in New York to build his empire. Quality emerges from quantity. Mastery comes from repetition. Genius is born from being willing to fail fast and often. And all of that takes courage. So here's what I want you to do. Set a timer for 60 minutes and make as many small versions of your idea as you can. And at the end, pick your favorite one and expand on it. Because quantity is the fastest path to discovering quality. Creative confidence says that the messiness of this tactic may feel uncomfortable at first, but it helps you learn at a faster rate so that your desire to be your best won't get in the way of getting better.
If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
All right, before I get to the next key, I have countless notes packed with breakthroughs and insights. And if you want access to all my notes on creativity, not just the ones on perfectionism, just tap the link in the description and tell me where to send them. Okay, now here's the thing. Lowering the quality of your art isn't the real problem of perfectionism. What if I told you that it's also killing your originality? Look, the more you polish your work, the more you erase your voice. When you're obsessed with getting everything right, you start copying what already works for other people. You study successful art, you study successful music, you study successful writing, and you try to reverse engineer your idea of what perfection looks like. So you copy it, you play it safe, and you end up making work that's skillful but has no soul. And so I challenge you to pick a project you've been working on forever and add something weird or imperfect, just a surprising detail that feels like you, and then share it without removing that part. Being yourself matters more than being perfect.
You don't start things and not finish them. You don't quit. There's nothing that comes out of quitting besides knowing that you didn't finish. We finish everything. You start it, finish it. If you're going to do it to try and be the best. Not be better than other people, be the best for you.
3 years into writing my book on creativity, Create or Die, I realized I've been editing the life out of my work in pursuit of some impossible standard. But the key that I discovered next changed everything for me. Paul Gardner observed that a painting is never finished. It simply stops in interesting places. Pixar's Lee Unkrich said, they don't ever finish a film. They could keep making it better. They're just forced to release it. Even Steve Jobs said, real artists ship. And the first iPhone wasn't perfect. It didn't even have copy and paste. But in releasing it, Apple learned what users actually needed and they adjusted quickly. If they waited for perfection, we might still be using Blackberries to this day. Here's what most artists don't know. Mastery happens in the loop of creating, finishing, sharing, and repeating. Perfectionism breaks this loop. It keeps you stuck in the creation phase, endlessly polishing, never learning, never growing. The world is full of brilliant ideas that died in the pursuit of perfection. Meanwhile, the work that actually changes you and the world, that moves people, that makes a difference, it's all imperfect, it's all flawed, it's all human. And that's exactly why it connects. Salvador Dali said it best. He said, have no fear of perfection. You'll never reach it. Because perfection is sterile. Perfection is cold. Perfection is inhuman. Imperfection is where the magic truly lives. And showcasing your imperfections to the world takes courage. And so I challenge you, sit quietly with one of your unfinished works and ask yourself, what would it take for me to release this today? And whatever that answer is, do that.
If you're going to do it, do it. Say what you can do. Do what you say. Finish it. Find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, ooh, if I just would. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night.
All right, before I get to what I think is the craziest key about perfectionism, I created a free 30-day course on unlocking your creative potential. It's easy to join. Just tap the link in the description of this video, and every morning I'll email you one powerful lesson with one simple assignment. I promise it's not like anything you've ever experienced before, and I'm pretty sure that some of you watching this might be currently in the course. So if you are, just drop a comment and be honest about your experience so far. All right, now here's the most shocking discovery that I found about perfectionism. And it's going to sound harsh because it attacks perfectionism at its core. Perfectionism is selfish. Elizabeth Gilbert writes in Big Magic that the most evil trick about perfectionism is it disguises itself as a virtue. Most people think perfectionism is about having high standards. They wear it like a badge of honor. They say it proudly. Oh yeah, I'm a perfectionist, as if it's a strength. But as the artist Way points out, perfectionism is not a quest for the best. It's the pursuit of the worst in ourselves. Because here's the truth. When we hold back our work because it's not perfect enough, who are we really serving? We're serving our ego, our fear, our need to be seen as flawless. We're not serving the person who desperately needs to hear our message, the person who's waiting for our art to change their life, the person who would be moved by our imperfect, human, beautiful work. Every day you delay releasing your work is a day that you're withholding your gift from the world. I started this YouTube channel 5 months ago. Yet, I'd been planning on starting YouTube for over 5 years. My camera isn't 4K, my lighting isn't the best, my audio isn't studio quality. Yet, I show up week after week sharing the insights that I've learned over the years. And sometimes I look at the comments and I think, like, man, if I waited to release my videos, there's so many people who wouldn't have found my videos when they needed it the most. And in a way, my imperfect videos have created hundreds of perfect moments around the world. And that's the point of art. As Seth Godin wrote, your generosity is more important than your perfection. So the next time you're about to release your project and you feel an urge to push back your deadline, close your eyes and imagine the person whose life might change because you shared it. And let that be the reason you set your perfectionism to the side. The final key made me close my books and go create art because it reframed perfectionism in a way that I never heard before. It showed me that perfectionism is a scarcity mindset. It's the belief that you only get one shot, and so it has to be perfect. A perfectionist thinks that they have one apple to give the world, so they polish it endlessly, never sharing it, while people go hungry. But that's not how creativity works. Creativity is about abundance. And the abundant creator knows that they're not an apple, they're an apple tree. And every apple given away creates space for new ones to grow. You won't run out of ideas. You don't only get one shot. Basquiat painted on anything, walls, doors, canvases, wood. He didn't wait for the perfect surface or the perfect moment. He trusted that his ideas were infinite, so he could afford to be experimental and playful. That abundance mindset led to over 1,000 paintings in just 8 years. Or even today's biggest content creators like Gary Vaynerchuk. He created thousands of pieces of content across multiple platforms. He doesn't stress over each post because tomorrow he'll create something new. And his abundance mindset built a $200 million media empire. You see, it's about trusting that as long as you have breath in your lungs, you have infinite ideas, infinite opportunities, infinite chances to create. When you embrace this abundance mindset, perfectionism becomes irrelevant because you know that if this piece isn't perfect, the next one can be better. And if not, the one after that can be better still. Maya Angelou said it best. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. So here's what I want you to do right now. Stop trying to make perfect work. Start trying to make work that's flawed, work that's human, work that's real. Set a deadline, a scary, pressure filled deadline. And when that deadline hits, you share your work, no matter how you feel about it. Because your imperfect work in the world is infinitely more valuable than your perfect work in your head.
I would suggest that you write and record as much as you can all of the time. And instead of thinking of it as, think of it as a hobby. Just think my hobby is I'm going to write and record songs. And then there'll come a time through that process where you'll look back and go, I think this batch is ready to share with people.
The world is desperate for the things that feel human, for the things that feel alive, things that feel like you. So create imperfectly, share courageously, and trust that through the process of making, failing, and making again, you'll stumble upon something more beautiful, than perfection. You stumble into yourself.